Hey everyone and welcome. In this guide, we'll be breaking down the best Sova recon bolts on every single map. We spent countless hours researching the best professional Sova players to identify the most powerful recon bolts they're using in the current meta. We didn't just hop into a custom game and come up with some random angles, these are tried and tested by a wide range of the top players. And this is the skill cap difference you can come to expect from this channel. We have one goal in mind: help you become a better player, and to do that it means giving you the most accurate and up-to-date info possible. So make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and like the video, as we'll be releasing daily premium guides to help you rank up in Valorant. Alright, and to start we have a life-changing tip that every single Sova player must know. And that's exactly how the power bar works on his arrows. If you take a closer look at it, you can see how it has three distinct sections. This is divided into 0 power, 1 power, 2 power, and if you max out the bar, max power. What most players don't realize is that regardless of where the charge line is within a given section, it will always go the same distance. Let me explain. Let's say we're doing a 0 power shot. I can tap and barely charge it. Or I can charge it so that it's right near the top of the 0 power section. Both of these shots will actually go the exact same distance because they're the same power level. Same thing in the 1 power section. Regardless of whether I'm just at the start of it or charged towards the end of it, the shot will go the same distance. This was purposely designed this way in Valorant so you can get consistent lineups every time with your arrows. It also means that in this guide, we'll be referencing how much you should charge your arrows by its power level, since as long as you fall within each of the power sections, it will line up the same each time. And one other useful tip with Sova's recon bolt is that if you accidentally max charge and don't want to release it, simply tap the ability hotkey, default set to E, to reset it and try again. Okay, let's jump into what you're really here for, some next level recon bolts, starting with the map Haven. Beginning with when you're on the defense. Now, playing Haven with Sova is all about garage control, and we definitely recommend this is where you play him. He can get all sorts of free kills and hold entire team pushes. One of Sova's best recon bolt lineups actually comes from one of the Valorant developers, Nick Wu. You want to move outside garage and line yourself up next to this window. Next, look up at the bottom part of the roof and line up with the center of the leftmost banner below it. From here, you want to move forward so you can only see a bit of the corner of the window next to you. Then, shoot at 1 power, 0 bounces, and release. This does two things. First, it gives you total vision outside of garage double doors. Second is that it has a delay before it hits the ground, and this is on purpose. This way, you can release it, run straight into garage, destroy the door plates, and then wallbang whoever you spot with the recon bolt. This is by far one of the strongest openers Sova has on Haven right now, and you'll get a ton of free kills with it. What's even more amazing about playing in garage though, is that if the enemy tries to rush you, you have a fantastic shock dart angle off of this box. Set it to 1 bounce, 0 power hits enemies up close, 1 power hits enemies just entering the doorway, and max power hits enemies outside on the right of the doorway. Combine this with the fact that the entire wall can be shot through, and you can completely lock down garage, getting a ton of kills in the process. Next, we have defense on C site. Most players just throw their arrow long C, bouncing it off the wall. This is pretty suboptimal though, as the enemy can see the arrow coming and easily destroy it. Instead, go to the back of site and line up with this door. Turn around and aim so that your crosshair is lined up with the top of the roof to the right. Then make your leftmost knuckle line up with the edge of the branch. Shoot it with 1 power, 0 bounce, and you'll find it lands behind the enemy in long C. Since it lands behind them, it makes it difficult to shoot immediately, and so you're much more likely to scout them. Additionally, it has that delay before landing, again a common theme you'll be finding in some of these arrows. By having a delay, it means you can hide behind the box, pull out your gun, and get ready to peek. As soon as the enemy is revealed, you can then peek and instantly one-tap them. Now, there's one other arrow for C site that every Sova player must know, and that's for when retaking it. This is especially important, since you're often playing garage, and if the enemy pushes into C site, you can find it hard to retake. It's really simple: line up your crosshair with the left edge of the wooden frame. Then aim slightly below the horizontal wooden line. Then release with max power and 1 bounce. This arrow will grant you complete vision of the entire C site, making the retake significantly easier and giving you some easy frags. Alright, moving on to B site. You have 2 straightforward arrows to help you scout all of mid. For the first one, you look to the right of this metal box, charge to max power, 1 bounce, and release. This gives you vision outside of garage, in mid, and even in window. An alternative, if the enemy starts shooting that one at the start of the round, is to aim right above this piece of cloth. Charge to max power, 0 bounce, and release. This arrow will give you more vision of mid, but less vision of garage and window. You also have a fantastic shock dart to destroy players peeking window at the start of the round, which was discovered by the pro player Hiko. You want to line up on the left side of the windows, and then slightly below the wood. 1 power, 1 bounce, and it will perfectly hit inside window to instantly punish any window peekers. Now, these arrows are great if you're playing B at the start of the round, but as we mentioned earlier, you're often playing garage on Haven. The problem is, if the enemy has mid control, it can be extremely risky trying to peek in order to shoot a recon bolt to scout them. For this reason, there is a crucial arrow you have to master. Head straight into this corner outside of B site, then move back against the wall until the rightmost portion of the shield is in line with the edge of the wall. Then aim at this long crack in the wood. Line your cursor so that it's on the same horizontal plane as the pipe to the left. Max power, 1 bounce, and release. This will spot any enemies outside of B that are preparing to push in, as well as any pushing towards you on the left side of B site. Super useful when you have to rotate from garage to cover a B push. Now, moving on to A site, here it's all about getting vision from long A so you can control the orb and spot their push early. The first arrow is the most standard. Head to the ramp and stand where there's a pile of sand over it. Then aim at the top rightmost light bulb with your crosshair. 1 power, 0 bounce, and release. This will give you scouting information at the start of the round to spot the enemy preparing for an A push. One problem though is that if the enemy is rushing A as fast as possible, this recon bolt won't land in time to spot them. However, we have a second arrow to deal with this. Line up with the large metal line in the center of the ramp. Aim at the top left corner of this window, max power, 1 bounce, and release. This will spot for any fast rushes on A by the enemy. Now again, since we're most likely going to be playing garage, when we head to A, we're often going there to defend or for a retake. Luckily, we have 2 fantastic arrows to help us with this task. The first one is simple enough. As you exit B site, aim slightly above the tip of this roof. Max power, 0 bounce, and release. This will give you complete vision of the entire A site, making for an easy retake. However, one of the downsides of this arrow is that by the time you're in position to shoot, the enemy may have already destroyed the recon bolt. This leads into our second arrow, which is great for when you have to retake A site by yourself. Hop onto this box outside of A, aim at the right edge of this leaf, 0 power, 0 bounce, and release. This will reveal most of the site, but most importantly is give you time to get into position to shoot any enemies that it spots. Alright, now switching to the attacking team on Haven. Sova has some absolutely amazing recon bolts on Haven, and rightly so considering he is classified as an initiator. We once again find ourselves focusing on garage, where we can execute a very similar tactic to when we're on defense. Begin by shooting out the armor on the doors so that your bullets can penetrate. From here, you have 2 different arrows to spot the enemy. The first involves you getting somewhat close to the right-hand side of the door and aiming right above the left-hand door. Don't worry, the arrow will actually go through this sheet above it. Then max power, 0 bounce, and release. This will reveal the entirety of garage and a good portion of the window. You can then follow it up by wallbanging any targets revealed. The second arrow shows more of garage, but is much easier to destroy. At the start of the round, position here so that you can only see a sliver of the left door to garage. Aim below the halfway mark, max power, 2 bounces, and release. This will give you more vision to the tunnel connecting garage and C site and have this same wallbang strategy with it. Alright, moving on to attacking C site. Here you have one of the best arrows and it's super easy to execute. Head into this corner at C long, then aim at the top of this leaf, 1 power, 0 bounce, and release. This will land on the edge of the roof at the back of C site and give you the most vision of any arrow. The delay on it makes it great for you to set up and peek along with it too. Next we have the B site, and there's a great recon bolt at the start of the round to check for enemies peeking mid. Go into this corner next to this box. Aim so you're horizontally lined up with the corner of this box, and vertically so you're lined up with the corner of the roof. 1 power, 0 bounce, and release. Again, the delay gives you the ability to peek off of its scouting info. Now, the next 2 are essential for actually taking B site. First is from the left side of B. Line up so you just see the edge of the wood above the doorway. Aim slightly above it, max power, 1 bounce, and release. This will check all of the areas of the site that you can't see when you move in to take it. Similar idea to the right side of B. Aim slightly above the boxes, line up with this metal corner below it. Max power, 1 bounce, and release. This will check all of the angles you can't see as you enter the site. And finally, we have A site on attackers, where you'll find some amazing arrows to take control of long A. First, you walk into this corner, line up so that you're on the third wooden block that's sticking out of the wall. Then move to line yourself up with the top of the yellow solar panel. One charge, no bounce, and release. This will spot all of long A, letting you safely take it. Once you're in long A, you have the best arrow for checking site. Move into this corner with these sandbags. Then simply aim so you're on the left side of the yellow portion of this wall. One charge, no bounce, and release. This basically spots the entirety of A site, minus heaven and hell. Then, once you're actually taking the site, you have a great arrow for spotting enemies rotating from B to retake. Aim above the second wooden post on this wall. 0 charge, 0 bounce, and release. From here, you'll be able to spot how many enemies are in the process of moving from B to A site and how close they are. Great, you now have the best recon bolts for every site on Haven on both attackers and defense. And this is the skill cap difference you can come to expect from this channel. Comprehensive, detailed guides that actually help you improve every single day. So make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and like the video, as we'll be regularly releasing content just like this. Alright, moving on, we have the map Bind, and I have to say, some of the most overpowered and next level arrows are found on this map, so you don't want to miss it. Starting with B site on defense, here you have a very standard bounce arrow to check B long at the start of the round. Simply aim slightly above the line where the blue and white paint meet, max power, 1 bounce, and release. This will scout any enemies at B lobby. One of the issues with this arrow though is how the enemy will see it coming and will be quick to destroy it. To avoid this, you can use a different arrow. Head into this corner here in B site. Line up horizontally with the left roof corner, and vertically with the right edge of this. 2 power, 0 bounce, and release. Again, this spots B long, but has 2 added benefits. First, they can't see it coming, so it's more likely it won't be killed immediately. Second, it has a delay, so we can time our peek with it to get free kills. And if you thought that arrow was good, just check out these next two. We can actually spot outside of Hookah from sight. Walk to this box in B site and line up the corner of it with this edge. Then aim your crosshair at the edge of this box and move it up until it's in line with the antenna on the roof. 1 power, 0 bounce, and release. This will reveal any enemies looking to push into Hookah at the start of the round. Even more insane than this though, is that you can actually scout outside of showers all the way on the other side of the map from B site. Head into this corner and aim your crosshair so that it's lined up with the corner of this roof. Then aim up until it's in line with this corner. 2 power, no bounce, and release. This will land near the teleporter doors outside of showers, revealing any enemies looking to push there. Moving on to defending A site. Here, your arrows spotting short A are actually really simple. You can just max power this back wall, or max power with 1 bounce to hit the wall from either side of mid. The main idea though is to land on the short A wall so that you can spot both left and right sides of short A. However, for outside of showers, you have a great arrow for netting early picks. Head into this corner, look up, and line yourself up on the edge here. Max power, no bounce, and release. This arrow has a very long delay before it lands, so you can walk into showers and then time your peek after it lands to get easy frags. Now, one thing we should mention about Bind is that your arrows and even your recon drone will go through the teleporter. However, in order for them to open the doors, you have to do 2 things. First, always aim for the center of the door that you can see through the teleporter. Second, never use max power. Always use 1 power or 2 power depending on how far into Hookah you want it to go. This will guarantee it doesn't get caught on the doors when going through the teleporter. Alright, now for the attack, starting with the A site. At the start of the round, you can hop on this box, aiming at the corner of this leaf. 0 power, no bounce, and release. This spots a ton. It reveals elbow, close right, and even close right of showers. You can achieve this same arrow from the left side of short A. Go into this corner against the barrel, line up with the center of this window, and move to the left until you're almost at the corner of the wall. Max power, 2 bounces, and release. This will put the recon bolt in the same super valuable location. If you instead want a deeper arrow that spots behind the boxes in sight, move against this wall and line up with the edge of this piece of paper. Aim where the leaf touches the wire. 1 power, 0 bounce, and release. This will spot anyone playing back at the A site, along with the right corner outside of showers. If you're instead attacking A from showers, head to where the rubble is and stand in front of it. Aim up and slightly above these 2 notches in the beam. 1 power, no bounce, and release. This will spot the close right and left spots outside of showers to let you know if anyone is trying to get an easy kill on you. You can achieve a similar recon bolt once you're in the showers. Stand against this wall on the thick, dark line. Aim slightly above this edge and do 1 power, 1 bounce, and release. Again, this line's outside of showers, checking your close left and right. The nice thing about this lineup is you can go into the exact same position, but instead use 2 power, 1 bounce, and it will check the back of site for you if no one has been playing up close. Now, when it comes to attacking B site, you have some truly amazing recon bolts. You can actually scout site from B long at the start of the round. Head towards this cactus. Then aim at the top of this gray line on the yellow solar panels above the top of the ladder. Max power, 1 bounce, and release. This will actually reveal most of B site. Next, we have one of the best arrows for scouting B long. Move against this area of the fountain. Then move to the left until you can only see a small portion of this sign. Aim at the bottom of it, 2 power, 1 bounce, and release. This will not only reveal anyone trying to hold B long, but also any enemies trying to hide up close in garden. For attacking Hookah, we have 2 main lineups. First involves us getting info on B site. Move into this corner where these bags of garbage are. Line up with the top point of the entrance to Hookah, and with the top point of this wooden post. 1 power, no bounce, and release. This will reveal the majority of site for you. However, we have an absolutely insane recon bolt for spotting Hookah at the start of the round. Go to the bottom of these stairs and aim straight down. Then move until your crosshair is on the edge of this piece of wood and in line with this dark line on the first stair. Then aim your crosshair where these 2 pieces of wood meet and pull it slightly down. 2 power, 0 bounce, and release. This will actually go through a window at the top of Hookah and land inside it, spotting any enemies playing up close inside. And last but not least, we have the map split. This map is probably the most important to learn the proper lineups for, since they are much more powerful than simply shooting your arrow into an area and hoping for the best. Starting with the attacking team for B site. Head to these boxes outside of B main and stand on the gap between them. Aim for this dark line next to the sign. 2 power, no bounce, and release. This will reveal the majority of B site and even slightly into heaven. However, if you really want to reveal heaven, then go to this corner outside of B main. Line up with the right side of the circle and move up until you're on the bottom wire. Max power, 2 bounce, and release. This will land directly in B heaven, revealing anyone inside it. Now for mid, it depends on which side you're attacking from. If you're moving from sewers on the right side, stand against the wall on this grate. Aim slightly to the right of this corner on the line, 1 power, 1 bounce, and release. This will reveal the largest portion of mid. For the left side of mid, move on top of this line in the ground. Aim at the middle of these 2 points. 1 power, no bounce, and release. This reveals nearly all of mid, but most importantly, reveals anyone trying to hold an angle in vents. For A site, you have some simple but super effective recon bolts. Jump on top of this box and move to the left until you can see the wall behind this sign. Max power, no bounce, and release. This will reveal anyone in A heaven as well as anyone playing up close in the site. If instead you want to scout further back of A site, jump onto the same box. Hug the wall and aim at the second line and move your crosshair above the wall. Max power, no bounce, and release. Here, you'll spot back of sight, but lose vision of up close on the left hand side of sight and don't get as much vision into A heaven. If instead you want to scout A ramps, move into this corner and jump on the edge of this box. Then aim at the peak of this image on the billboard. Max power, 1 bounce, and release. This will reveal the entirety of the A ramp along with a little bit inside of heaven. One of the best recon bolts on ramp though is actually near your spawn. Head to the center of this bush, turn around and aim at this corner. 1 power, no bounce, and release. This reveals anyone in ramps, but most importantly, sets you up with an amazing lineup with your ultimate. This will give them very little room to dodge and picking you up a very consistent free kill. Moving on to defense, you have a really simple yet powerful recon bolt for A site. Go to this corner in heaven and then aim at this corner in the distance. 1 power, no bounce, and release. This will not only reveal any enemies looking to push into A main at the start of the round, but also any stragglers waiting behind. Super easy to remember and execute. For mid, it depends on which side you're playing. If you're in vents, go back into this corner. Aim slightly below the top left corner of the doorway. Max power, 1 bounce, and release. This reveals both left and right side of mid along with anyone rushing up the stairs. If instead you're playing to the right side in mailroom, you want to move up against the wall. Move to the left until you can see the black line in the brown boxes. Then aim slightly below this corner on the wall. Max power, 1 bounce, and release. This reveals mid, sewer, ramen shop, and scuttle shack, a very useful recon bolt at the start of the round to see if the enemy has sent multiple players mid. Now, for defending B site, you want to go back into this corner on rafters. Move to the right until you can see this edge sticking out of the building. Line up with this edge and the piece of wood sticking out below it. 1 power, no bounce, and release. This not only reveals any enemies outside of B main, but also spots a bit into Scuttle Shack and Ramen. If instead you want to check inside B main, go to this corner. Aim here in between the gap. Max power, 1 bounce, release. This not only reveals anyone pushing into B main, but also scouts outside of it. If instead you're looking to retake B main from an enemy getting a plant down, you have 2 great arrows from Heaven. If you're coming from the left side of Heaven, aim above the B icon. Max power, no bounce, release. This will reveal the majority of B site. However, if you're instead coming from the right side, then aim at the corner of this sign, then go halfway down. 2 power, 1 bounce, and release. This not only reveals a good portion of B site, but also reveals anyone hiding in this corner in the back. Alright, we worked really hard on this guide so you guys would be equipped with the best Sova arrow lineups in the game. The best way you can show your love and support is to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and like the video. Also, what would you like us to do a guide on next? Let us know in the comment section below, as we'd love to hear. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you for watching, and good luck, good half, and good game.